Well, we're going to start with breaking news, and the government has been banned temporarily from concluding its negotiations on the Chagos Islands deal. Now, that follows a High Court ruling in the early hours of this morning.
Well, in the ruling, Mr Justice Goose stated that no conclusive or legally binding step shall be taken to conclude its negotiations. Well,
let's talk to our political correspondent, Catherine Forster, who's across this. And we know Sir Keir Starmer was planning on signing this deal, signing away the Chagos Islands today and agreeing this 99-year lease at a cost of £9 billion that we'd pay to Mauritius. It's all been stopped in its tracks.
Yes, it's quite extraordinary, this. The Prime Minister, a former human rights lawyer, and his government were basically going to give Mauritius sovereignty of the Chagos Islands, then pay many millions to rent back the military base. And they were going to do that because a United Nations court had ruled that Mauritius should have the sovereignty. So to abide by international law, they were going to give this to Mauritius to sort of better be safe than sorry legally. And yet now they have come unstuck because of the ruling of a British High Court. Really quite extraordinary. Worth saying too that it was our own Charlie Peters who got the scoop a couple of days ago that the government were going to sign the agreement today virtually. That news, of course, has given these two Chagosian women who've brought this court case time to act. Now, the judgment came down at 2:30 in the morning. It's put a block on the government signing that deal for the moment. These Chagosian ladies, their legal claim stated, the government is acting with the same callous disregard to the interest of the Chagosian people as when it expelled them from their homes 60 years ago. So the Chagos Islands and Mauritius used to both be British colonies. And then in 1965, they were given back, and the Chagos Islands stayed British. Mauritius said that the Chagos Islands should be with them. Now, this is now going to a court this morning at 10:30. We will be following it throughout the day, but a major embarrassment for the Prime Minister this morning.
Catherine, thank you for bringing that to us this morning. Well, let's cross live to Westminster and speak to the Shadow Justice Secretary, Robert Jenrick. Good to see you this morning, Mr Jenrick. Let's get some reaction to... I'm not sure if you'll be across this. We've just heard it here ourselves. But this breaking news in the past few minutes about the Chagos Islands deal. The government has temporarily been banned from concluding its negotiations on the Chagos Islands deal. An injunction granted in the early hours of this morning by a High Court judge. What's your reaction to that breaking news?
Well, look, let's hope that this is ultimately successful, because this is an absolutely disgraceful sellout where Keir Starmer is looking to give away sovereign British territory to an ally of China and pay billions of pounds for the privilege. So let's hope that this succeeds. All power to the elbow of the Great British PAC and the individuals who brought forward this legal challenge.
I mean, we've been saying this morning on the programme, is there something going on with this deal that we don't understand, that's being kept under the radar? Because on the surface, it doesn't seem to make any sense. So can there be something? Is it financially... Are we going to be financially better off with this deal, or what? I mean, can you shed any light on why it's happening at all?
Well, look, the only explanation I can find for this is Keir Starmer's view of international law, where he thinks that his reputation on the gilded circuit of lawyers and courts is more important than the interests of the British people, because this is a very, very bad deal. We're giving away our own territory. We are losing control over territory on which there is an incredibly important base that we and our key ally, the United States, make use of. And we're paying billions of pounds for decades and decades for the privilege of doing so. It's a terrible deal. It should be stopped. But Keir Starmer has proceeded with it because, at the end of the day, he's a human rights lawyer who always puts international law above the interests of the British public.
Can I also ask you about this breaking news that we've had in the past half an hour or so? That the government has temporarily been banned from concluding its negotiations on the Chagos Islands deal. It was believed to have been signed today, or hoped to have been signed today. This is all down to an injunction that was granted in the early hours of this morning by a High Court judge.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any of the details. Clearly, the Chagos negotiations have been going on for years now. They had several rounds under the Conservatives, who I think if they'd been returned would have no doubt concluded a deal, despite what they say now. Let's see. I mean, maybe it gives a greater chance for scrutiny. I'm all in favour of that. This government absolutely needs to be held to account for everything they do.
Welcome back to Breakfast. We're going to have a quick look at the papers with Oscar Redrop and Susan Holder. Morning, you two. Morning. And Susan, let's have a look at that breaking news in the past few minutes. A High Court judge has blocked the Chagos Islands deal.
Yeah, I think this is pretty dramatic, really, because this dramatic court ruling came at 2:30 a.m. So some High Court judge has been kind of in his pyjamas, I think.
Sat through the night.
Yeah.
Mr Justice Goose.
Mr Justice Goose has been knocked up and got out of bed and has made a ruling which says that, and it's been brought by somebody called Bertrice Pompe, who was born in Diego Garcia, and has objected. And the injunction has been upheld, so that it says the government can take no legally binding step to conclude these negotiations and cannot dispose of the territory in whole or in part. So they're going to have to return to court now on Thursday morning. The Foreign Office, which we won't obviously comment on this while it's an ongoing court case, which is fair enough.
It's this morning, actually.
Oh, it is Thursday morning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Thursday.
I don't know what day it is.
No, that's 10:30 this morning.
So they'll be there. Yeah, they'll be there later today. I don't know what day I thought it was.
No, neither.
I was up early, even earlier than Mr Justice Goose. So that's what's going to happen. So they're going to have to go to court now and argue their case.
Wow. Oscar, what do you make of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you had Rob Jenrick on the show today. He's been steadfastly campaigning on this. This will be awkward actually for Starmer potentially, because the deal was all ready to be signed. If you wanted to be tricksy in opposition, you would say that again this taps into when Starmer negotiates, it tends to go wrong, it fails. That Albania humiliation he had a couple of weeks ago. When he was out there for the press conference and was told, no, we're not going to be doing any illegal immigration transfers back to Albania. So really, if you were Rob Jenrick, you keep your foot on the accelerator pedal on this issue. Yeah. It could potentially be quite embarrassing for the Prime Minister, as it was all ready to go and be signed.
At GB News, we believe in the power of free speech. We're not afraid to ask the tough questions, challenge the status quo, and give you a voice. While others silence dissent, we champion the truth. By becoming a GB News member, you're not just supporting free speech, you're defending it. Please consider supporting us today. Together, we'll hold the powerful to account and make sure that your voice is always heard. Simply go to gbnews.com/support and stand with us for what matters most.